Torah time! The weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it. Everything's in it.
Hi, welcome to Torah time. This week's Torah portion is Chukat. And in this portion, we learn about the death of Miriam. What's very interesting, though, is that in the Torah, oftentimes, we don't focus on the death. We focus on the life of the person. There's another portion like this called Chaye Sarah. It's when Sarah died, but the portion is called the life of Sarah. So in this portion, when Miriam dies, the wells of water dry up. Miriam was known to have a very strong connection with the water. Where she went, water would follow. Now, when the wells dried up, the people of Israel who were in the desert were very, very thirsty. And they began to complain to Moses. They said, "Moses, why did you bring us out of Egypt? We had cantaloupe and watermelon and wonderful things in Egypt." They didn't have any of that. Remember, they were slaves in Egypt. They were just kind of fantasizing and romanticizing about how things used to be. But it wasn't like that. So now they're almost rebelling against Moses, and they're saying, "What are we going to do? What are we going to do without water, Moses?" And Moses and Aaron do what they often do, which is drop to the ground in prayer. Well, when Moses gets up, he has a conversation with God. And God says to Moses, "Moses, gather the people and bring them to this place." And the place that he was talking about was right near a rock. God said to Moses, "Moses, when you get there, speak to the rock, and water will issue forth." So Moses gets all the people assembled, and he's very angry at them. He's very angry because they're getting so upset with him for something he really has no control over. So rather than speak to the rock, Moses takes his staff and he slams it down on the rock. Well, water does issue forth and the people are able to drink. But what happens is that God tells Moses and Aaron that because he struck the rock and didn't speak to it, he will not be able to go with the children of Israel into the promised land. Wow. Moses' temper got him in a lot of trouble. You know, there's a lot of times in the Torah where Moses shows us his human qualities. And one of his qualities is anger. And I'm wondering, does anybody have anger sometimes? Get upset about things, especially now, with things being so unknown? Well, I want to suggest to you that anger is not a primary emotion. It's a secondary emotion. And we feel anger most of the time when we're afraid. When we get afraid, it's not easy to say to someone else, "You know what? That's scary to me." So what we do is we get angry. Maybe what we can do the next time we feel like we're getting angry is we can ask ourselves, is there something that's frightening me? Is there something that is making me feel unsure? Are the circumstances that are happening to me making me feel like my life is unstable and there's so many things that I don't know? Well, maybe I take it out on other people by getting angry. Anger is not a good place to be. It really leads us to do things that are unhealthy for ourselves and then affect the people around us. So it's good when we start to feel that little feeling inside of ourselves, we can just stop for a moment, take a deep breath, let it out, and remember that it's easier to tell someone, you know, that made me feel a little frightened or a little scared. We can learn some great lessons in the Torah, all kinds of things that are really important for our daily lives. Well, that's our Torah time for today. Okay, shalom.
Torah time, the weekly portion. What's it all about? It really means something. What can it teach me? Turn it, everything's in it.